Hello, I'm Tony Iannuzzi at Camden County College. I'm an ASE Master Tech L3 certified, and I've been an instructor here at Camden County College for 16 years.
Hi, I'm Ray Johnson, automotive instructor here at Camden County College, and also ASE Master Tech certified.
In today's video, we're going to talk about Class 0 isolation glove safety. Anytime we're talking about EV safety, we have to have some proper PPE. One is the proper rated safety glasses with side shields. Another thing we need to have is no metal or anything conductive on our body. We should have natural fiber clothing. Assuming that that's all good, we're going to get right into EV glove testing.
So Tony, since we're going over gloves today, and this will be my first time using a set of these gloves, what do we do once I grab the box? What am I looking for?
The first thing we need to do is check the date code on the box. Every box of gloves is good for 1 year or 6 months once they're opened. EV gloves in the box should be kept laid out in the box with their protective leathers.
So is that why this box has handwritten when it was opened?
Correct. Every time you open a box of gloves, you need to put the exact same gloves back into the box and write the date they were opened. Now, these gloves here were recertified on March 4th, 2026. We opened these gloves on May 11th, 2026. We get 6 months to use these gloves from the date they were opened. But even if we didn't use these gloves, they're only good from 1 year from this date. Even if we open them in the 10th month, we would only get 6 months.
Okay, so when I'm looking at this set of gloves and it says tested December of 2024, even though these look like good gloves, I shouldn't use them.
Correct. These gloves need to go out and be recertified. They may still be good, but OSHA requires these to be tested once a year and be certified for electric vehicle isolation.
Okay, Tony, now that I know that the date certification is correct, I've looked at the box, checked that over. Is this a one size fits all? I mean, it looks like you have different size gloves here, but what am I supposed to do?
Right, that's a great question. These gloves actually come in about 5 different sizes from 8 up to 12. We have 9 to 10 and 11 on the table. But in order to find the correct sizing, we've got to measure the circumference of your hand, which is done very simply by taking a tape measure, wrapping it around the palm of your hand, and getting the measurement. It appears that you are a 10-inch glove.
All right, perfect. So I was able to measure that was a 10. So now that I measured that I was a 10-inch glove, that means that I would look at the glove and see that number 10 there?
Correct.
So then this would be the glove that I'd be trying on.
Yes, it would be. That's the glove you would use anytime you work on electric vehicles.
All right, Tony, I got my 10 size glove, so that means I'm ready to work on EVs now, right?
No, actually, you need to wear a second glove, a leather glove, which is also the same size as size 10. That rubber glove only protects you from high voltage. This leather glove needs to be put on to protect the rubber glove from any type of damage or nicks that could happen when you're moving electrical components around and doing testing on the vehicle.
I see that the leather glove also has the size 10 on it, so it's important to make sure that I match the sizes?
Correct. You want to have the same size glove together so they fit correctly on your hand and you have the correct motion.
Wow, okay, so I just got both gloves on. I can say that it's definitely getting a little warm in here. What else am I supposed to do about all the sweat?
If you're working in a warm climate and you're very prone to sweating, there are optional cotton gloves. The cotton gloves are a really nice option if you have a hot summer day, any other time where there's a lot of sweat.
But you're saying the bare minimum is for these two?
Correct.
All right, so just to go over everything that we've learned so far, I've checked the box, made sure the expiration date's good, make sure the open date's good. I've sized my hand correctly and picked out the gloves that I'm gonna wear today. So then what's next?
The next step we need to do is we need to check the leather gloves and the rubber gloves for nicks, cuts, and tears. It's very important to make sure that there's no nicks, cuts, and tears before we put them on. Today we're going to be using the Cementex glove inflator to check for nicks, tears, and cuts in our Class 0 isolation gloves. When you purchase the package and take it out, it comes with this bowl and a pump. The pump has to be screwed onto the bowl here. This is an inflator to put air into the glove. Ray, how about you start by putting the glove on the tester?
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just stretch this over the tester?
Yes, carefully stretch the glove over the tester. Make sure the silver knob is closed, else it will not build pressure on the bolt.
So this is similar to a blood pressure cuff?
Correct, very similar.
So once I've tightened the little lock nut, I just start pumping?
Pump the handle and squeeze it up. You don't want to overinflate. About 15 to 20 pumps will get this where it needs to be.
All right.
All right.
It looks good enough to give it a high five.
It does. Once the glove's inflated, you want to check around the fingers, in between the fingers, on the tips, at the hand, on the backside, anywhere for any kind of imperfections. A cut, a nick, a tear, a discoloration, anything. And of course, looking for any kind of air hissing.
All right, is there like a set amount of time I leave it here just to make sure it doesn't deflate?
No, there's no set amount of time. You're basically looking just to inflate this to look for imperfections, damages, or tears.
This is a good glove, right? Because it's holding air. I mean, what does a bad glove look like?
Great question. We happen to have a bad glove right over here. Try putting that glove on this tester.
All right, let me give it a shot.
Now, one of the reasons we recommend using this glove tester is sometimes it's really hard to see some of the damages or imperfections in the gloves. So go ahead and start pumping that glove up.
All right. So I did notice that it took me a little bit more pumps to pump this one up.
All right, if you look at this glove, there is a slight tear right at the base of the cuff. This is really hard to pick up. It began to inflate, but it is leaking out a little bit. Any tears or imperfections should not be used. This glove can't be recertified. It's trash.
Now this one took a little bit of inspecting to find that it was bad. But now that I know it's bad, do I just take the whole pair and just chuck it?
They do go in the trash. Before you put them in the trash can, it's good practice to cut 1 or 2 fingers off so that if anyone finds these gloves, they can't use them thinking that they're still good gloves.
Okay, that's great to know. All right, we're all done using these now, so I can just go ahead and throw them on the bench, right?
Actually, no, Ray, you should know better. These gloves need to get put either back into the box, they need to be stored in the box in their original open area, not folded, not cut, not covered, with the gloves on top. You can put the cottons in the box if there's room, or they can stay in your toolbox.
Can I leave the gloves together and just throw them in the box?
No, the gloves got to be kept separately. They got to be in their original shape. They also need to be kept out of direct sunlight. These gloves will end up degrading through the ozone and sunlight. So we need to keep them in their original shape. If you don't have the box, you can use one of the canvas pouches. But in the canvas pouch, they can still be put in, but they have to be kept in their same exact shape, not together. Try not to fold them when they go in.
I'm just supposed to slide these right in here and keep them unfolded the best I can.
Correct?
And then I can put my leathers in with it?
Yes. So when they're in here, the bags and the box will protect these from sunlight, but they also need to be in a climate-controlled area. They should not be in a shop that's 100 degrees or 10 degrees. That will limit the lifespan of the gloves, where they cannot be recertified.
So I put them back in the box or in the bag. Even though they're in the bag, I should still label them so I know when to look for the 6-month point, correct?
Correct. Just like on our box, the bag needs to have a label on it when you first open the gloves. These gloves will end up with multiple dates on there the more times they're certified. So it's important to keep them in the correct container they came out of originally, so the gloves don't get swapped back and forth. In conclusion, today we learned how to properly check date codes on EV gloves, how to properly check if your Class 0 EV gloves are cracked, damaged, or have any issues, and how to properly store Class 0 electric vehicle gloves.
Make sure you guys like and follow for more videos while we make EV easy.